show, this is where we get to discuss key issues shaping our nation and economy at large. My name is Elizabeth Musa. In recent weeks, the Naira is strengthening to a 4-month high, trading around 1,500 and 226 Naira per dollar on the back of improved liquidity, largely driven by sustained foreign portfolio inflows, an increased dollar turnover, and clearer policy direction from the Central Bank of Nigeria. This trend has narrowed the gap between official and parallel market rates, something we haven't seen in a while, and it's sending a signal that there may just be growing confidence in the FX market again. But the question is, how real is this rally? Is it sustainable? Or is it just another short-term sugar rush driven by hot money? Those are the questions. Is policy finally doing the heavy lifting, or are we still at the mercy of external capital? Well, to help us unpack this and so much more, we're joined by Mr. Kunle Ezun. He's a respected economist, fixed income and currency strategist, and with deep insight into monetary policy and financial markets. Welcome to the show, Mr. Ezun. It's great to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Elizabeth. It's my pleasure to be here this morning.
Right. Let me start by just saying that, the Naira is on a bit of a run right now, seeing its strongest level in months. What would you say is driving this bounce? And do you get the sense that this is real momentum or just hot money flowing in temporarily? And how much credit can we give the CBN for this recent Naira gain?
Okay, thank you very much. Listening to your intro, I smiled when you said, "Oh, could it be sustained, or just one of those important things that happened, and after a few days, it disappeared." I think I have a good news for you. That looking at all the parameters, I think I'll be glad to say that what we have seen the last couple of weeks and days is here to stay. And again, trying to that to say that Naira stability, that conversation is actually a journey and not a destination. And there's no way you want to talk about whatever we have seen today as a stability without tracing it back to the event that happened in December 2024, when CBN introduced what we call electronic trading. That's the BMAsh. BMAsh brought in what we call a more sort of transparency and liquidity in the FX market. And just few months after that, there was the introduction of FX codes. All of these are events that helped to create a sort of stability in the market. So the current run or the current rally that we have seen actually built on those market events, which perhaps we could call reform in the FX market by the central bank. So over time, we've seen that those two events drove huge liquidity into the market. And again, so the first half of the year is on record that CBN did participate in the market up to the tune of about $4.7 billion between January and June in trying to support the currency. And this was done through the BMAsh. BMAsh is more like an electronic platform that allows for transparency in trading. So it's more like a two-way code transaction. So that was the platform that has helped to drive the current stability that we have seen in the FX market. So to add to that again is what we have seen through the impact of the IMTOs and the fintech industry. So we see liquidity coming through that space as well. So there was a CBN's circular that gave the fintech the opportunity to sell their inflow directly to the central bank, where if it was not possible for the banks to buy from them. So all of that were things that have driven liquidity that have helped to support Naira stability. So the good news is to say whatever we have seen today will continue to support Naira outlook. And again, the activities of the exporters, the non-oil exporters, are only help to support the market. So all of these are market events that keep happening, and so we expect that stability that we have seen will be sustained. Yes, for FX market, there could be pocket of volatility which is quite required in the market. But that volatility will not be strong enough to distort the curve that we have seen today in the market.
Right, and what we've seen is that the CBN has taken a much more active stance with, tighter policy, stronger interventions. Do you think in this case that these moves are finally paying off, or is the market just responding to what I would call short-term signals?
No, I think on the monetary side, we need to give the credit to the central bank. So what CBN would have done could be termed as momentarily, because using the instrument of HOMO to support the currency was more like an unorthodox mean. But CBN feel that when that market was reopened, the CBN needs to inject liquidity. Ordinarily, you expect that market activity, market participants should be the one that should drive liquidity in the market. But when the market reopened, there was a dearth of liquidity. And that's where CBN came in aggressively, using the instrument of the HOMO to attract FPIs. And at the point in time when the FPIs were repatriating profit, there was a run on the Naira. And CBN proves to say that they have the capacity to support the currency. And that's reassurance from the central bank. Again, provided that more like a support, and that gave Naira that rebound that we saw. After, just in April, when the US president did announce the US tariff, there was a run on the currency, and Naira witnessed huge depreciation to about the 1.6 level in the market. But thereafter, CBN came back in aggressively and said, no, we're here to support the currency. And so, what CBN must have done in the last 6 months and 1 year, it had helped to support the currency. And what I keep saying to say, what CBN must have done, we should not be expected to CBN hand wouldn't be there forever. I'm sure in the next couple of months, CBN will need to step back and play just a regulatory role and allow market forces to determine the performance of the currency. So CBN has supported the currency. But in the next couple of months, we should expect that CBN will take a back road and allow the forces of demand to keep determining the prices of Naira.
And speaking of market forces determining the cost of Naira, we're seeing that foreign portfolio inflows seems to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting right now. Do you think that Nigerians should be optimistic about the Naira strength, or should we be a little bit cautious that this could unravel just as quickly as it's happening?
Okay, I think whatever we see today is quite strategic. And if you take a step back and look at the MTF, that's the medium-term economic framework that guided the budget 2025. You will recall that the Naira exchange rate was pegged at $1.5 right? So I guess CBN was quite deliberate about that forecast, because before now, what we used to see was that a rate would be set that is more like a far cry from when Naira trade in the market. But for CBN to take that bold step to do a forecast of Naira at $1.5, then it means that CBN was being realistic about the value of Naira. So, if you have observed the last couple of months, that performance of Naira has been around that 1.5 level, right? A lot of people do believe that in the nearest term that Naira could break the resistance around the 1.5. But I do believe that breaking that resistance around 1.5 could create an opportunity for people to take profits on the economy. So I think pegging Naira at 1.5 is quite strategic and is a pointer to where the central bank feel that Naira should trade in the near to short time. Over time, perhaps, when there is stability in the economy, when the economy becomes productive and self-generative, perhaps you could see Naira trading below and getting stronger and strengthening below the 1.5. But in the near to short time, I do believe that whatever forces we see in the market will trade the naira around the 1.5 level in the near to short term.
What we're seeing is that there's a sort of a gap between the official and parallel market, or it's narrowing perhaps. Do you think this is a
Absolutely.
sign of real FX market reform? Do you think that it's a sign that the FX market reform is working, or is it more about sentiment than structure?
No, okay, I think for me, that's why I said that whatever is happening today in the market, the kudos and the accolades should go to the central bank for being firm, for being strategic, and for being forward-looking in their policies and reform. And this is what has driven a sort of convergence between the official market and the parallel market. And if you check in the last couple of days, I think the differential between the parallel and official market is narrowing, and I think it's, and the last time I checked, should be about a 20 to 15 naira differential between the official and the parallel market.
Right.
And this is actually what the market believes should happen. And once you see a sort of stability and appreciation in the official market, then you should expect that the parallel market will gradually gravitate towards the official market, and that's what we've seen. If I may say here, sometimes last week, I think on the Tuesday or Thursday last week, we saw a more of about the 5 naira spread between the two markets, and so that is why that is when you know that there seems to be a correlation between what happened in the official market and the parallel market, because it's only when there is a spillover or a sort of expectation that is not being met within the official market that you see the spillover that drive volatility in the parallel market. But in the last couple of days, we've seen bid and offer being met by the market. So the urgency to want to go to the parallel market to cover for the gaps in the official market has gradually disappeared. So that's why you found that the parallel market will continue to gravitate towards the official market, and this is what we expect to happen. And over time, we should have a convergence between the two markets.
Convergence between the two markets. But let's talk about businesses now. So we've seen that businesses have been through, it's been months of FX uncertainty, and with this shift that we're seeing, are we seeing a confidence reset or volatility? Do we still think that volatility is still part of the story moving forward, or is there a confidence reset right now?
Okay, on the business side, I think there's relief in the market. I mean, this could be seen from number of LC in the open by banks. If you have access to that data, you could ascertain that businesses are coming back to life, and this is the number, because from where I sit, I could see that there are good number of improvement in the LC. That's a letter of credit that goes to confirm that there is importation of goods taking place. So if you continue to see that positive tone in LC issuances and what have you, it shows that there's confidence in the market, and that confidence could be actually be seen again in the fact that most banks are going back to now relaunching and introducing the Naira funded debit card for Nigerian transaction. So those are ways to measure the confidence that has returned to the market, both on the retail side and on the wholesale side. Because either though most banks had suspended the usage of Naira funded debit card for Nigerian transaction, and at the last count, about 6 banks had gone back to reissue and to allow international transaction on the Naira debit card. This shows that there's huge confidence in the market, that there's liquidity to cover FX transaction, and that this should be again support. And as we're going fully into Q3 and Q4, when you expect that there will be huge demand for FX towards the festive period and what have you, then we'll begin to see how strong is Naira able to withstand the pressure that will come in the next 2, 3, 4 months to the end of the year.
Right. And final word before you leave, if you were to advise the Central Bank of Nigeria right now from where you see it, what's the one thing you would say they need to do to make this Naira rally stick for good?
It's very straightforward, and I never had opportunity to shape him out by the Central Bank. Mine is always very straightforward. You need to remain consistent. Clarity in regulation, right? This is what market require now. For you to stem volatility in the market require clarity in regulation. Let CBN be open as much as possible and allow market to drive itself. Right? It is only when you have when that communication is not clear that people begins to speculate. But once you have clarity, speculation will take that stage. The market will run based on fundamentals and liquidity, and this will give you the more sort of stability that the market requires. So basically, for me to conclude, is to say CBN should remain consistent on the policy, provide guidance where required, and allow the market to trade liquidity. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kunle Ezun, respected economist and fixed income and currency strategist, for joining us this morning on The Big Story. It was truly delightful.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this has been The Big Story on the BDTV Breakfast Show. My name is Elizabeth Musa. Stay tuned for social listening up next.